guys, I'm Crystal Sky, and today I'm going to show you how to do the first couple of quests in Battle for Azeroth after the Battle for Lordaeron scenario. So the first quest is you have to go to Silithus. You can take the portal from Uldum to Silithus, because it's right next door, and you have to talk to Magni here. Now after you talk to Magni Bronzebeard, you hand in the quest there, and you have to go in and get your Heart of Azeroth. That's the first quest after the scenario that you have to do. He'll jump down here, and you just take the portal in. Pretty simple. And then there's a little bit of questing you have to do in the heart here. There's a couple of cutscenes. I cut all of them out so that you can just see the base of what you're going to be doing when Battle for Azeroth comes out. So you have to click on the thing and watch the cutscene. That happened at the end of Legion. Of course, you can skip the cutscene. Hopefully, you will have seen it already. And then you talk to Magni again in the hall. There's another cutscene here that seems to be almost, it is skippable, but it seems to tell you about Azeroth and the chamber that you're standing in. So you got your heart, and now he's going to give you a new piece of Heart of Azeroth gear. What you have to do is you have to use your heart, use the action button in the center to get all these little shiny nodes in order to empower your heart and help the wounds that Azeroth has suffered. There's a lot of beeping, or a lot of beating, but it's a quick quest, and I think the slowest thing about it is the heart cooldown. So after that, you talk to Magni, or you don't talk to Magni, you just head into the center there and hit the button again. There's no real place on the minimap or the quest markers to show where you have to stand, but I found that I had to stand in the center of this dial here, and then went back and talked to Magni again. So he'll give you a piece of gear, and then you will head back to the dial in the back chamber there in order to head back to Stormwind. So now you have a piece of gear, you have your Heart of Azeroth, and actually, I'm going to show you here really quick, the new dial for the Azeroth gear. Pretty cool. You pick one, and you click it, and it moves into the center there, which is just a really cool mechanic. So then you just head back to the dial, and it'll take you back to Stormwind Harbor, which seems to be where all the quests are in this area. In Stormwind Harbor, you'll head back to the guy you got the quest to go to Silithus from at the end of the scenario. This guy here in the med bay. Hand that in, and then he'll tell you that Anduin needs to see you. Of course, Anduin is going to talk your ear off the entire way to Stormwind Keep. So we're here at Stormwind Keep, and you have to listen to a little bit of talking here first. There's no way to skip it, and there's no way to move it forward without listening. There will be something you have to do, something you have to participate in. Jaina will be there, and she will summon a little portal thing that you have to click on. But other than that, you just have to wait for the dialogue to be over.
Only one returned. Survivors say they encountered strange and terrifying magics. And, Nina, perhaps you could help us see what this survivor has witnessed.
So, you just have to go click on this portal here. Jaina summoned it. I did speed up the talking a little bit. So once you talk to him, you'll get a cutscene. So says the beta. Awesome cutscene. And then you just talk to Anduin again. The quickest way out of here, after you get the quest to go back to the harbor, which is what you're going to do, you're going to go to Kul Tiras with Jaina. Just head out that door there, and you can immediately fly up and head out. That's the fastest way out of the keep from where Anduin is. So then you're going to head to the third dock here, the longest dock, and talk to Jaina. Now, on alt characters, you're not going to need to do this quest again. As you can see, I've heard this tale before. it'll take you right to the prison, but I did this just for the sake of the video. There's a whole thing here. There's going to be another cutscene after the loading screen. Now, you have to go through this as far as I'm aware. At least on the first time, at least on launch, you'll have to go through this. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to do this, talk to Jaina, and then there'll be a whole bunch of things that is essentially Jaina walking. Some of them you can skip, some of them you can't. So I'm not quite sure which ones you can skip and which ones you can't, because some of them aren't cutscenes. But you just walk through the square with Jaina and then end up in prison anyway. So either way, you'll end up in the same spot.
We're taking you to Catherine, all right?
So we're finally at the end between skipping some of the cutscenes and not being able to skip everything. And the last one you can skip. And there's going to be another cutscene after that where you get taken away to prison. Then there's a loading screen and you load into the jail area. And this, actually there's an introduction to my favorite character, who's Flynn. He's my favorite character. So he's going to be sitting there humming, you talk to him, and then you punch him in the gut. Now this is a really small area, but the jailer guy is probably, he doesn't have a very long res cooldown, but it did take him a while to spawn even during the beta here that I was in. So you just punch Flynn a couple of times and then you run out of the cell to the right to hit a lever. You can hit a lever, you can hit the lever almost immediately. Just punch Flynn, you don't have to watch for anybody to come or anything. Flynn will run out, and then there'll be a little cutscene showing you that you have to go to the end of the corridor there.
Riot, boys!
Your gear is on the left side here. Don't forget to pick it up.
Grab your gear and let's pay the block warden a visit. We'll need his keys.
So the block warden is actually, as you can see, he's where I'm standing. He's over to the right a little bit, but he's dead. So it took me a while to get him, because he was just dead for the longest time. But that's where he spawns, right there, if you just sit there and wait to tag him. Hopefully the first wave of people that run in during launch are not going to be tagging and killing him too quickly. But in the beta, I am in Azeroth gear, or not Azeroth gear, but essentially the boosted gear that you get. So he's probably going to die a lot quicker. A lot of the mobs here are very, very weak compared to my gear level, which my druid has a much higher gear level. Anyway, you go pick up the sand real quick. It's explosive powder. And then you walk over to the door here just really quickly. This whole rest of this area is just walking places. There's no reason to really kill anything, at least in the first wave when release hits. You probably won't have to kill anything. You also don't have to bag up here, it won't blow you away. It just blows Finn away. So you walk through the store after you click it, and you can see we're all running as a group here, which is probably what's going to happen on launch. You don't really even have to kill anything. All the guards are so weak that you just run through everything. You can also leave Flynn behind if he's started to attack somebody. You can just run all the way to the end here to the boat, and it won't reset or anything. At least it didn't during the beta. So I just hit Cheetah and I ran as fast as I could to the end of the boat. It doesn't mess up the scenario or anything in beta, so it probably won't on live either.
Wait, no, it was just my other leg. We're good.
Flynn is still my favorite character.
You, stop right now.
This Sand Queen's gonna pop up, just keep running. And here you see the boat. So you just click on the boat, and then there's going to be more cutscenes. The scenario and all of the quests in order to get to the map, to get to the zone, took me 22 minutes for the scenario and 22 minutes doing all of these quests. So you're not going to get to the first zone in Battle for Azeroth until about 40 minutes in, which is much higher than any other expansion, I believe. So there's cutscenes. I cut all these out, obviously, so I'm trying to save for time. And you just end up talking to Talia on the docks. So the next couple of quests that you get here. So you pick up this quest from Talia. And the next couple of quests you get here are just essentially going around Borealis. You have to talk to the Flight Master and the ferry dock guy. And you can pretty much just talk to them. You have to wait for the quest to recognize, at least in beta, that you've talked to him. You don't have to talk to him twice like I did on both of these. Talia will follow you, of course. So you head to the bank, the inn, and then to the end of the quest, besides the Flight Master and the Ferry Master. So that's the inn right there. This was the quickest way, in my opinion, to get to everything. I took this stairwell here right up into the inn, but I did go in the wrong house, which, you know, you can barely tell. in my defense, you can barely tell. But the inn, there's the inn here. You have to walk over. You don't have to talk to him. You can just walk over to him and it'll work. I walked all the way up because I wanted to see the inside of the inn, but you don't have to do that. Try to cut out as much time on launch day as possible. So walk in, have her talk, and then run to the next area. Then, of course, you have to head to the Flight Master here. So the Flight Master will be here. You just talk to her. She'll have a little bit of dialogue. But where you're going to be headed next is downstairs in this building here where where the entirety hub is. So you have to hand in the quest at the Flight Master here for Talia, and then you're going to head to Cyrus, who's in this building. I ended up jumping down this area here. I didn't mount during that whole thing, and it was still really quick. So I just jumped down here, and then it's the farthest building over here on your right. You're headed to the Harbor's Master's office. There's a little cutscene here where Cyrus tells him to stand down, and that's Gen, and Gen comes in, and they have a nice chat. Now, there's another cutscene here. It's not really a cutscene, because I tried to skip it and it wouldn't let me. It's essentially Cyrus giving a war story, which is really cool the first time you see it, but I don't think it's skippable, so that's a little annoying. So you end up shaking Cyrus's hand, and then he tells you a little war story here. Stands in front of the fireplace, all nostalgic, as Gen and him have a chat. Again, more talking that you can't skip, not in a cutscene. The quest has to recognize that you've finished. So again, Cyrus isn't in a cutscene, so you can't skip it. You have to listen to Cyrus talk Fireside. But I skipped it here for you in editing. So you headed into Talia. It's the quest called the Old Knight, and then you head into the Sanctum of Sages. Now, I would do this quest on launch. It's you have to do this quest on launch in order to get to the map. So you just end up running. I went up. I think that's the easiest way because it's right straight ahead. This is to activate the portal room. You'll have a portal to the Exodar, a portal to Ironforge, and a portal to Stormwind. As you can see, there's no portal to Darnassus. So, I guess Darnassus is gone, right? At this point. But there's a portal to 3 different major Alliance cities, which is pretty cool. So after you talk to her, it'll activate on its own, and then you can head right back to Talia in the Harbor Master's office. So once you give it to Talia, once you hand in the quest to Talia, there's going to be another quest explaining, which you can skip. You hand that quest in that you've listened to the narration, and then you can head to the map. But I would suggest picking up the ferry pass from Cyrus, that way you can use the ferry, and then talking to Gen to pick up that quest there. Now you can actually access the map, and there you go. Battle for Azeroth is open up for you. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a good launch day.